Hi friends and family, Gordy here. Just doing a real quick video. Get one up. I haven't got one up. I've been trying to get one up building these raised beds, but the weather has been uncooperative and kind of pain in the butt. But let's talk a little bit why I hate gardening and why I love gardening. I'll tell you a little bit about my prior history. I grew up in a small town in northwest Missouri, 145 people, little dinky house. We moved up here from Houston, Texas in 1965, and my dad bought a big house in this small town, and we had about half acre garden. And this is why I hate gardening. He loved green beans, and he planted 20 rows of green beans, 100 foot long, every year, and it was our job, me and my brother and my sister, to pick those green beans. And it wasn't just a one-time deal, unless you happen to pull the bean plant out when you was pulling beans and it didn't produce anymore. So every once a week we'd go pick green beans, and just accidentally me and my brother would pull out a stalk or two or three or four, and the picking got less and less as the year went on. We used to walk barefoot in the garden, but we had some stickers, and when you stepped on those, you knew it. But back in the day, we were all barefoot. That was the only reason I really hated gardening. But we weren't rich. My dad was a truck driver, and he drove over the road, gone most of the time. So it was us and the kids, my brother and sister, me and my mom would take care of the garden on the weekdays, and then he would come home on the weekends. And we had everything. We had beets, radishes, carrots, okra, and that's where I learned to love pickled okra. My dad would always make pickled okra. We butchered chickens, canned chickens. My mom had one of the great big pressure cookers. I really don't really like working with the pressure cookers because they could be dangerous, and probably not dangerous now. They probably got them fine-tuned, but back in the day I seen one blow off the top, and it scared me quite a bit. And I've never really done. I just do hot baths now, where I do acidic vegetables versus the pressurized vegetables. Other than that, we had a big asparagus patch. We had a rhubarb patch. And they come back every year. We'd go cut rhubarbs, and we had a patch of strawberries, and my mom would make strawberry rhubarb pie, and it was kind of delicious. If you like rhubarb, you had to put a ton of sugar in it, so probably where I developed the diabetes issues that I had. But now I've got those under control and have for about 10 years, so that's all good. Why I love gardening. In this small town, we self-preserved our food. We canned corn. Well, we didn't can corn. We froze corn. We'd pick corn and cut off the ears and freeze it. And year-round, we had fresh vegetables all the time. Chicken, canned chicken was decent. I mean, we'd make spaghetti chicken and stuff like that. But I think that everybody should learn to garden. If you have the space, even if you don't have the space now, you can do container gardening. You have dwarf plants and stuff like that. But why I love gardening, I love the smell of dirt when it's tilled, and you get your hand dirty, get out there and play in it and watch things grow and develop. Another reason I hate gardening is the pest. I hate bugs. I hate dealing with them. I just wish they'd leave everything alone. But gardening is a, what do I want to say, a stress relief for me, especially after I learned how to grow tomatoes and worked on those. The different flavors, the colors, the aspects of the heirlooms, and even the heirloom vegetables that you really usually don't pay attention to, like some of the snap beans and the dragon tongue beans, and some of the Detroit red beets. I love pickled beets. I love to make balsamic pickled beets. And when I started really getting serious about gardening a bunch in 2000, to around 2000. I can't remember exact what year it was, but when I opened Gordy's Heirlooms and started selling heirloom tomatoes, it was trivial back then. It wasn't too well known. It was just starting to come around, and that's kind of why I found Baker's Creek catalog and ordered a bunch of seeds from him. And then I told you earlier that I went down there with my brother to his place in Mansfield, Missouri, which is kind of a cool place. It was really just a little shed when we first went. And Jared come out and he had his pants tucked in his red cowboy boots and had a red flip over cowboy shirt on, a big tall cowboy hat. He was a character. But he's developed that thing into a probably $1 million business, I would say, from all the things I read about him and all the history that he's discovered around the world, the different heirloom vegetables from Thailand to Italy to Slovakia and stuff like that. And one of my favorite tomatoes was the first tomato I got down there. It was a cool season tomato called Stupice, Stupice. And it's about a 65-day tomato, and you could plant them in April. And they weathered really good. They tasted good. They were ready by June 20th, 25th. If you plant the end of April, and they withstand, you could put them in the ground and put cut a milk carton bottom off that, stick on top. As long as you kept them warm through that first 3 weeks until the middle of May, and then took it off, they really excelled. But the different varieties is one of the reasons I like to grow different things. Everybody likes the Cherokee purples, for example. Cherokee purple is probably one of the most well-known heirloom tomatoes, as well as Brandywine. But those are just the tip of the iceberg. Some of the other blacks and the purples and the greens and the yellows and the rainbows and the colors, that's the key of trying to plant different varieties, just to see what they taste like, see how big they get, if they turn into a slicer, or if you like a paste tomato, you want to can them. So that is one of the main reasons I like to. That's really nice. My dogs were being, hey, stop. Sorry. And loving and hating gardening. It's a great feeling to pick your bounty and decide what you're going to do with it. Especially, I respect all the weekend farmers who go to a market and the pittance they make doing that. Some people probably make a lot of money doing it, but I don't know, I say a lot of money, probably 30, 40,000 a year, which is not a lot of money, I guess. But it's hard work. And gardening, not just tomatoes, but all of it's hard work. It's early hours, get up 4 o'clock in the morning, pick veggies, or the night before, put them in a cooler if you got a cooler, and load them in your truck, take them down, set them up, set your tables up, set your programs up, and do your best marketing. I mean, there's people that know how to do marketing. There's people that know how to do computer stuff. I wish I learned how to do this editor. I need to take a class. Well, apparently, I didn't get the end of my other video recorded. Something happened. So another one of those issues that I hope to fix. I think I was talking about marketing. And marketing is a big part of selling in any business. And the more you learn about it, the more you market yourself, the more you make signs and have a website and places for resources and stuff like that. You see some farmers at the farmers market who have kids that are really experts in doing the internet stuff. And then you have the farmers that's been doing it for 20 years and they just take their stuff and sell it and put a bunch out there and let you pick it. But then there's other people who have a CSA, which is Community Service Agriculture. And what they do is they take a little bit of bounty from each season or growing vegetables, and they put it in a bag, and they either deliver it to your house or you pick it up once a week. For example, you could have in there tomatoes, chicken eggs, quail eggs or duck eggs, whatever they have, sweet corn, and lettuce for that 1 week. And then you purchase a program from them, like you pay $180 for 6 weeks or something like that. I never participated in it, but I know it's a good thing. And a lot of people who are organic farmers, who sell microgreens and lettuces in the spring, early spring, radishes, stuff like that, have a good business doing it. And they have high tunnels, and it's a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to grow vegetables and mend or till the dirt. It's hard work. Picking a lot of food is hard work, and packaging is hard work, and buying the packaging is expensive, and it adds up. When you see the people at the farmers market take your tomatoes out of those little cardboard containers and put them in a bag, they do that for a reason. They need to save that 7 cents that they paid for that cardboard container so they can use it again next week. But that's some farmers take it out, some of them don't. But the more religious savers and business people will take it out and save it. Plastic bags are a big thing. Getting your name of your farm or name of your business plan printed on your plastic bag, phone number. I've had people call me in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, I need some tomatoes tomorrow. Can you give me some?" And I said, "I'd love to, but the farm is an hour and a half away." He said, "I'll pay you $50 for gas and for the tomatoes." And I said, "Okay." So one time I went up there at 10 o'clock at night, got there at 11:30, picked probably 50 pounds of tomatoes by flashlight and headlights on my truck. Brought him back to Kansas City, took him over there in the morning. He had them for lunch. He was having a big special lunch for a business. And then the other purveyor who he had originally bought from didn't have any tomatoes. He had sold out, and this guy was needing tomatoes. So basically what I did, I bent over backwards and helped him out. And a lot of that stuff goes on. Some of these people are diehard farmers, and they'll do anything to service their customers. And that's how you get new customers. I mean, it went on. He started buying from me just because I'd been over backwards and helped him out. So back to marketing. If you're going to do any business, marketing is important. And if you go to the farmers markets, you notice who the upscale people are who understand not all their stuff is the best, but more often than not, that their product's going to be just as good or better than anybody else, and they usually charge a premium. But they're number ones. I mean, that's the difference between really being meticulous and picking out the right stuff and selling it. And then that's who I say they should sell number twos to. And they might go home and can them. I don't know what they do. But gardening, hating gardening and loving gardening, you'll find out there are certain things you hate, certain things you like. And you know what it all depends on? The whole rigmarole depends on Mother Nature and your ability to control pests. So if you learn anything at all, learn to control pests, understand what fungus means, identify it, the greenhorn worms, the beetles on squash and tomatoes and cantaloupe, how to get rid of them. And we'll probably do a video later on of pest control. And some people, they have organic, and that's exactly what they use. They try to use organic copper, hold on a second. I have some of this stuff here. Shield All Plus, It's a broad spectrum insecticide, fungicide, herbicide, and soap shield. See right there? Controls powdery mildew, black spot, and rust. And this Shield All Plus is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide, mites. You can get those at, I think I ordered these from Gurney's when I had them. Maybe Gardens Alive, I don't know. But I try to do the most I can, sustainable agriculture. I don't do 100% organic. Some of the fertilizers that I use are not completely organic, but I do use compost, and I do use the controlling stuff the best I can. I don't use 7. I don't believe in 7 dust, unless it's just you're going to lose your crop and you need to really save it. And then what you do is you identify it and you tell the people that's buying it, hey, I've used 7 dust on that, but it's been washed and it's ready to eat if you're going to sell it. Other than that, I'm rambling on, and I just hope you guys learn to love gardening, because there's parts you're going to hate, and it's fun for me, and I hope it's fun for you. Well, my GoPro blew up at the end of that video. Just wanted to say thanks. Subscribe and like the channel if you want to. It's going to get more interesting. We're going to be outside doing stuff. I'm just trying to put content up, keep people interested in what's going to happen, and try to expand their knowledge a little bit. I hope people start commenting and want some questions answered, and maybe ideas and stuff we can kick around. Other than that, have a great weekend. Not much you can do. Go out and live up to town, but cook a good dinner and enjoy life. Stay safe, friends. Bye.